teacher growing up, and she's the one that just formed a real strong relationship with me. And I had a very troubled childhood, and she could see through all that. And she's the reason that I'm a teacher today. And I had the opportunity to student teach under her, which was absolutely amazing. So one thing that she told me was to avoid the teacher's lounge, and not to avoid working with colleagues, but she said it can get very negative in there. And so basically she wasn't telling me to avoid the teacher's lounge as much to avoid the negativity.
Yep.
And so it's hard sometimes when teaching gets rough. You want to complain about what this kid did today, or what this person didn't do, or what this email that just came through. And so to just focus on the positive things and surround yourself with positive people, I think that has been the most beneficial thing that she's taught me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shelley just said, surround yourself with people who lift you up.
Yep.
You need it, which is so true. So interestingly enough, I just had a conversation with one of my favorite educators of all time, just like right before we got started. And we happened to be talking about this, just talking about like this, you know, kind of toxic thing that happens, and how hard it is to be the one to walk away.
Yes.
You know? It is so hard to be the person who says, yeah, no, not today. I'm not going to be complicit in this. I'm not going to participate in this. And kind of jokingly, I said, but maybe not jokingly, I said, it's almost like teachers need a card of sentence stems in their pocket, you know, because we don't always have the language to fight that toxic talk. And so I do think it's worth, though, ahead of time, you know, if you find yourself getting caught up in the whirlwind of some of that kind of conversation, I really do think that it's worth it to think ahead of time, like, how would I get myself out of this situation? Like, how would I walk away? Have you ever had to do that where you had to like kind of awkwardly pull yourself out of something that would cause you to not love teaching so much?
There has been a time where it happened to be in the teacher's lounge, where it was the lunch, and I understand why it happened, but it was just, there was a series of events and a student wasn't being their best version of themselves. And so it started a chain reaction of different teachers complaining about that kid. And they weren't complaining about the kid, they were complaining about the kid's action. But I just remember back to when I was student teaching with my mentor, Carlina, she told me about a time that she sat down at the lunch table and everybody there was complaining about me and how she got up and left that lunch table. And so I felt like she did that for me, and I needed to do that for that student who wasn't even one of my students. And so I just think for me to be my very best version of myself for my students, that I need to stay away from that. So if it is jeopardizing a relationship with someone who isn't going to be a positive role model on me, then I need to do what's best for both me and for my students. So I haven't had to do that very often, but
yeah, you know what I mean? And I think you're right. I mean, and we probably all have had somebody walk away for us, but we just don't know it. And you know, and I think that idea, what a great metaphor. That's going to stick with me. I'm not going to forget that one.
Well, and I've been that person too, sitting at that table complaining, you know, and I would want somebody to walk away from me so I could see that visual that I need to get myself in check, and I need to stop spreading the negativity like that. So we've all been there. We've all done that. So,
but we don't have to stay there.
Exactly.
We don't have to stay. And I think it's also important that we don't have to judge either, right? We don't have to judge the ones who stay and the ones who leave. But we have to find it within ourselves to, you know, do some of that tough stuff, I think.
I agree.
All right. So